Down, down, down by the river. The fuck is up, gamers? Your boy the Goose. We're here for episode number 31 of Ace Attorney. I made a mistake with one of my other videos. I forgot that since I finished Dead Island, we're at that point. That video I said was coming out on the 8th is actually coming out on the 6th, and the one that's now on the 8th is episode 30. And this is episode 31, coming out, I believe, on the 10th. No, not the 10th. These are Thursday. These are Monday, Thursday, Saturday now. Will I switch them to Wednesday? I don't know. Well, I'm definitely doing Monday, Thursday, Saturday, just to fill the gaps. Will I add a Wednesday? We'll see what happens. I have to record Life is Strange more. I still have... It's coming up on the third week of that. So I'm going to finish... I'm going to do 2 more recordings. And then I'm going to, do that. Do some more of that. Because I know I still have like 2 and the bonus episode to do, I think. So if each episode's around 2.5 hours, I should have plenty of time to fit in a shit ton of Ace Attorney.
I've considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and I have determined the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So the counsel will now proceed with our second summation examination. I presume the jury's ready, Mr. Foreman?
We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you to now state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
Oh, I feel lightheaded, bro. All I've done today is play video games. I had some eggs and some yogurt with granola for breakfast. I had a McDonald's McCrispy and some fries and a hot fudge sundae for lunch. And then I had a tuna sandwich and some canned peaches for dinner. So I've eaten an adequate amount of food, and I have drank a lot of water. Not much from here, and you might be thinking, oh, well, it's the video games. You didn't get out. No, but I, walked around. I, went out and played Pokemon Go at some point. I can say, that's a video game. That's what it is. So it's not like I didn't get any fucking sunlight. I was outside for, at least, an hour. That's what they say, an hour a day? That's what they tell you on Nickelodeon. The accused us behind everything to Shane, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. But it is 10 o'clock, and I did wake up at 8 a.m. this morning, so I might just be fucking tired.
If there was some novel alternative explanation.
Yeah, I'm about to yawn. I'm just tired. Which sucks. I really wanted to do a lot more today before the day ended.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. If the woman with found books, it can't be related to the crime if the window is closed, can it? It was only a little book, hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, they'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Alright, so absolutely nothing of substantiality.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all the members of the jury this time around, it seems. One notable exception, of course.
My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seed fleeing from the scene. And moreover... Stop fucking doing that, bro. No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. That means I'm afraid that during the summation examination, it's essential you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking this might be hard.
But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it, otherwise this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then.
That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you're prepared, counsel?
Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Rinosuke, focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say Mrs. Garadeb?
We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the two.
Yeah, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Miss Garadeb and how she reacts, even to things other people say.
Oh, shit. Jurg examination. Here we go. Let's fucking get it, bro. Defense's rebuttal. I have a feeling that won't do anything. Let me press her. So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Such a light in your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. But what you might think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, rational woman.
That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all for good by tea time, isn't it? So I read them in the first place. You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you're a modern woman, alright. And not at all extreme.
As I see, an overwhelming suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by the overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare the man's overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Then it's the very best to not disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
God, I almost did something to fuck up the whole thing. Right, I'm glad you omitted rational there. It's crazy. Let me press him on that. But what about the possibility the window was open?
What about it? I mean, this is no way it could have been.
How can you be so sure?
The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? And winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite in that sort of cold indoors. So that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and saying warm, see?
You couldn't categorically state the window wasn't open, could you?
It just wasn't. I wouldn't have opened it.
Then what's the point of even having windows, huh?
Counsel, kindly refrain from childish bickering.
Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's undeniable possibility the window is open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Okay, so... let me press him and see if I can find anything in him. But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yeah, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point when we were stabbed, this landlord fell in his home, wasn't he? Doing a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, he fell in with his wife or somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it could have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves a Nipponese fella. Honestly, I can't say what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty left to say. Okay, I pressed you. Let me press her and say, excuse me, bitch. Can you admit that you're his fucking wife? But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
He brought upon himself his play with fire to betray a fiery love, isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garadeb.
Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. And I won't have any more suggestions it was anything whatsoever to do with the crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. Stop fucking hitting him! He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garadeb's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it, what a gentle soul he is.
Alright, last time pressing him was it. Because that seemed to work last time. You just want to get this over with. How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future's at stake here. Wait with me both then, like I said before. What? Told you already, I'm a day labourer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some breadies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down the Thames tomorrow morning. What? Yeah, well, me and my missus didn't want to mess about, you know. She can be fish, believe you me. What a shining example of marital bliss, then. Situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry. It was so funny, I should think. I must have blocked it out. Helpful.
I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into the flames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Mrs. Otto. Must be some way to jog his memory about this. Okay, wait. Can I present? No, there is no way to present. Alright, let me press this guy, I guess. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter, my grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Of course not, it was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Norado. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worshipping to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold? But how'd you catch a cold from a fire? I had a feeling, I didn't say it out loud, I had a feeling he would have opened it because of the thing.
But if you ask how it was, his grandchildren blessed them through water every me as they tried to put out their flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it.
The windows!
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil down to get my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it, put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worshipping all along. I was thinking about this old man's story, it's playing on my mind for some reason. Okay, wait. But can I get that? Can I get him to add that to his testimony? Can I? I need to like pit him. Wait, shit! I didn't mean to press. Give me a second. I'm fucking up here. Give me a second. I need to pit 6 against 3 is what I'm thinking. Yeah, you have to open windows to clear the smoke, yeah. And that's how you do that. Yeah, and then it works. These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another.
They do? How exactly, Counsel? Don't bother me again. I told you, it wasn't me! What's that you say? Speak up, lad, speak up.
Juror number 3, do you see?
Me? See what, sir?
Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his window in the middle of winter.
Oh yes, of course, but it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh!
Exactly! On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household, and Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my hat!
Excuse me, juror number 4. Do you have something to say about that? Careful, don't piss yourself. Mrs. Garadeb!
How dare me? What's the meaning of this? How dare you apply a binding? I really am.
It's imperative you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. A situation like that, it's inconceivable you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if I did? Alright then, yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
You never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It'd be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course, I should have realized. Yeah, my bad. My bad. I should have known.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish the window was open. You simply must have that added to Mrs. Garadeb's formal statement.
So nobody's even That's about how the victim was stabbed. The accused left behind evidence of the scene. Okay. So now I have evidence to pin. These two statements clearly contradict each other. I should have saved. That's my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad. They didn't change their fucking... I just wanted to make them change their mind. Do I need to press her, maybe? You think? Let me press and just see what happens. Fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, the book Miss Garadeb told us he'd been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw it at your husband? A copy of The Lion's Pride that he'd been reading.
I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I held it straight at him. Now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather unsure, reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't, you little insolent man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and do whatever you can lay your hands on, as you well know.
I really don't.
Excuse me.
Big man? You got something to fucking add? What is it, juror number 5?
You know something? I've remembered what it was. The memory I blocked out.
Ah.
He was listening to what his granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back.
Hey, what kind of granny, you cheeky devil! I'm Mrs. Garadeb with the bean, I'll have you know!
Man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me this because he's not so used to being hit all the time.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh dear, what a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost today's wages, love. Next thing I knew, Blade was whistling past my ear, stuck in the wall next to me and did about an inch deep.
No words, just
Terror. I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the dames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the money bags that night, I can tell ya. Now, that's a real disaster, ain't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchet, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Dorado, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I did not, that was not me. I didn't agree, I didn't nod, I didn't say anything. I didn't, no. Bad boy. Don't say that.
Doing household objects to people as well. It sounds...
Wait, aren't you the perpetrator, aren't you the proprietor of the Suzato takedown? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you.
At least attack with honor using a bow and the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Yeah, alright, Suzato takedown. Alright. We'll come to like the bow and arrow thing later if I dare. Where the fuck is she keeping a bow and arrow? Let me go ahead and save again. Because clearly we're getting to the juicy bits, I think. So let me pit those two.
Objection. Hold it.
Yeah, that's wrong. I think they have to, like, disagree, is what I'm picking up. Like, I think there has to be a discrepancy. So, what did she say? If there was a novel alternative explanation about the victim was stabbed? Do you think there's no way
Objection.
There's no way that's the implication. Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection.
Go Good grief! You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garadeb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garadeb household to the street below.
What's this now?
After all, Mrs. Garadeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think ever since the true origins of this book came to light. Perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. I'm definitely not saying that word. I don't know what that means. I'm Googling it. I'm Googling it. What does that mean in slang? Very commonly used in Australian English that refers to a fool or an idiot. Yeah, you know what other word has been famously touted as meaning fool or idiot? I'm not reading that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. No. But I will notice, though, they're talking about Australian English. I've been given a lot of them, like, Australian accents. And some of my friends that I've used these accents and other things with have been like, that's not British, that's Australian. It's really fucking interchangeable when it comes to, like, the dialect. It really is. When it comes to how these motherfuckers talk, it's so interchangeable. Because that's, like, the deal is, like, this, like, American accent is, like, how they used to talk in some locales.
You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it?
Really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain, at the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object is the knife.
Take that!
Which is crazy. I don't think this at all. I don't believe it. Juror number 4, Mrs. Garadeb.
What on earth?
I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before?
Oh, good Lord, counsel! What on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was launched into the victim's back, man!
What on earth are we doing? My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book had sailed to land at the crime scene.
You can't seriously believe that the book was found in the victim's grasp.
Are you saying it flew out the window across the street to land neatly in her hand?
Even my missus ain't got a name like that.
Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Mrs. Garadeb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Take that as a fucking yes. Oh, what have we done? Who's that?
My lord! I was just making my decision. I'm a word of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it'd be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman.
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
That tips are right. Just leave Mrs. Garadeb and the old man. We did it!
Congratulations, Mr. Dorado. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. Joan is called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided and the trial will continue.
Yo, we clutched up again. Get him. 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 Fuck him up, Charles. Fuck him up.
Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
Bro's an alcoholic. How old is he again? How old is he? How old is he? He's 32. He looks 40. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Throw it, I fucking dare you. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. Whatever, man. But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and Mr. Garadeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garadeb's house to the scene is 15 yards.
Let me see, 15 yards, that's 14 meters.
14 meters, that's a little farther than I imagined. As you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly have noted, having rather portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Ah! Stop hitting the pain, bro. I don't think I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
Miss Susato.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here. Not the time, not the time!
Lord, my lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you must speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea fantasy, but the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning, and as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garadeb, must be called to testify to submit a cross-examination.
Sent alive! A cross-examination of a juror? I mean, she's more of a witness at this point, I feel like. That's just me.
Order! Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection. And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zeeks!
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they'd be able to testify accordingly.
What say you, witness?
Come on, Rolly. Come on, clutch up, Rolly.
Yes, sir.
What was that? Is that in-game? Give me a second here. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck that was. I heard some spooky ass noises.
Yes, sir. Constable Riley Bate reporting for death.
Fuck am I doing? Is this good?
Yes, sir. Constable Riley Bate reporting for duty, sir.
Well, good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept far off on account of the villain who's paid on my bait, sir. Oh, they're so heroic, these London bobbies. Really, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, really, my hero? You make me swoon.
Wait, what do you mean Demon Slayer starts airing today? Why do they keep dropping these without fucking telling me?
Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request. Oh, and order the witnesses to the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation for events. Yes, sir.
We're at the end of the episode, man. I think I want to fucking... Hold on. I want to end the episode. Thank you so much for watching. We saved the game. Oh, okay. We're at part 2. Okay, good. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye bye.